Hello everyone, it's Jamarl Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. I hope everybody is doing okay this morning. I did the previous video on TYT and I've had an awesome conversation with Adore Pariah. Tepidly pushing back on the last video. Kind of. I mean, we had a good conversation on it. Now, that said, just so you guys know, the click link in the description box, that's there because my channel has been demonetized. If you want to give through Super Chat, you can do it through the description box. You can't necessarily do it through the typical Super Chat button. There's a link in the description that would allow you to get through PayPal. I don't say that to force to give or to push to give. I say that because people need to understand why that gasoline box is there. This one is also going to be quick. Let's get the tabloid stuff out the way early. Omarosa attacks. Omarosa attacks. Omarosa comes out swinging because she's trying to hawk a book. Now, early on, as an African American, when Omarosa signed up to this campaign, African American community said Donald Trump is racist, and B, why is this black woman signing up to be with Donald Trump? Omarosa, for the most part, pushed back against these claims, and Omarosa was like, I'm with Donald Trump, etc., etc., etc. And now, all of a sudden, it comes out 5 startling revelations. And not just startling revelations. She has it documented. She has the shit on tape. She's been taping the president and elements of the administration. This is awesome! One reality show host going after another reality show host. This is great TV. This is great TV. But is it meant to be TV? Or is this supposed to be the president of the United States? This is a fucking clown car. These are bozos, the clowns. All of these people, opportunistic, rapacious, out to get whatever they can get. Get rich or die trying, even at the expense of the rest of the country. Who cares about the dignity of the office itself? Who cares? I need to make my ends. And I don't say that just for Omarosa. I say that for all of the cast that's in that administration. All is too strong. Most. You put a bunch of millionaires and reality show hosts, people who are out for their own interests, who don't necessarily care about the social externalities of the things that they do. And you put them in office. And you put people around their orbit. What is the reality show host going to do? What are people who are in reality shows going to do just because you give them some level of office, some level of prestige? They're going to behave as if they're in a reality show because that's what they know. Omarosa comes out with bombshell claims that to some degree, I'm not quite sure are all that much bombshells. I guess the bombshell in this is that she got him on tape. Let's talk about these because some of these are fascinating. Even though some to me get a no duh, and I would say Omarosa knew it before she went to work with him, and now after the fact, she's shocked and chagrined. Oh God! There's gambling in this establishment. Who knew that there was gambling in this establishment? Oh my God! The guy's getting a blowjob. The other guy's sniffing coke. I had no idea this was taking place before I came in and placed all my bets on the table and took my money and all this stuff. I had no idea. I had no idea. This is completely new to me. I'm shocked by this. My name is Omarosa. Let's take a look at the story. The story is bogus because Omarosa knew this shit beforehand. And at the end of the day, Omarosa looked at this as an opportunity to get rich. Would she have stayed with Donald Trump the whole way through? I have no idea. But I had no clue what skills she had to bring to the table other than she was black. I don't know how being black is a skill other than just being a thing that you are. She has potentially skills in being a reality show host, but again, or reality show, but is that necessarily a skill that you're bringing to the White House? Donald Trump got in office as a reality show host, and as a reality show host, he looked around and other people who were around his orbit, and they just so happened to be reality show contestants. Well, he brought on a reality show contestant. What do you get when you bring on a reality show contestant? You get some reality show shit. Nevertheless, she took notes, she took names, and she took audio recordings. It's fucking fascinating. Omarosa attacks. 5 startling claims from Omarosa. Omarosa magnate Newman's scorched earth campaign to promote a book to take down the White House has led to a full-out war with President on Tuesday, who referred to his former ally as a dog. That's going way too far, by the way. I'm gaining more skills with the OBS and Streamlabs, so shout out to Balthazar on this. Thank you very much. He called her a dog. That's way too far. That's way too far. And this is, again, this whole thing of racist. How are you calling this woman a dog? How are you calling this person a dog? And would he have called that person a dog if that person wasn't black? I mean, please tell me you understand the point, even from the standpoint of her being a woman. What, she a female dog, meaning she's a bitch? What is... To say that's a poor choice of words kind of misses the overall context that it just so happens to always be a poor choice of words aimed at certain people. Now, you could make an argument that Donald Trump is just Donald Trump. If Donald Trump is being gross and over the top under normal circumstances, that may be true, but this is a gross choice of words. I don't care what Omarosa did. This is a gross choice of words. And just to put a finer point on it, the only thing you can be pissed off at her is for exposing it. But at the end of the day, you did say it. Meaning, oh God, that dog caught me being racist. You're calling a dog because she caught you being racist. Just saying, that's a horrendous choice of words. You shouldn't be calling that woman a dog. You shouldn't be calling any human being a dog in this sense. Magnate Newman's, for more than a week, has headlined a series of startling accusations made in the book, Unhinged, an insider's account of Trump's White House. She's also released a series of audio tapes that have included conversations with the president and the White House Chief of Staff, John Kelly. All right, let's go into the stuff. Let's go into the revelations. There's a tape of Trump using the N-word. Uh-oh. Who is Trump dropping the N-bomb on? Newman claims that she confirmed the existence of a tape that shows Trump used a slur during his time on The Apprentice, where he first met his one-time protege. She claims she heard the tape herself after finishing the book. Now, is it true? Who knows? She said she heard it. Again, reality show host attack, man. Trump is a bomb thrower. Trump is meeting another bomb thrower. Bomb thrower versus bomb thrower. She claims that she heard the tape for herself after finishing the book. I heard for 2 years it existed, and once I heard it for myself, it was confirmed what I feared the most, that Donald Trump is a con and has been masquerading as someone who's actually open and engaged with the diverse communities. But when he talks that way, the way he did on this tape, it confirmed that he was truly a racist. It took that tape to confirm it for her. It took that specific tape to get across that Donald Trump was a racist. I love this. Him saying Mexicans and rapists were drug dealers, or Mexicans were drug dealers and rapists, and I assume that some were good people. The thing is, the idea that an entire country is full of rapists and drug dealers, and that you have to make the assumption that some are good people, gets across this idea that, yeah, you're probably a racist, because you're castigating an entire country. I guarantee you that the entirety of Mexico is not rapist. And it is a weird idea to have in somebody's head that that's true. When somebody's calling Donald Trump a racist, it's because of shit like that. The idea that you needed to find that one specific tape and see it for yourself. A, you don't know if she's seen it. B, this is a woman that's scorned and burned in a reality show host, and she's going about her way to put a knife in Trump. And by the way, it may be true that this tape exists, because I don't need to see the tape to think that Donald Trump is a racist. I thought he was a racist beforehand. I guess my point is, she's pissed off. She's selling and hawking a book, and she's using the stuff to put a knife in Trump in one item after the next. I haven't seen the tape. The rest of us haven't seen the tape. What we do know is she's pissed off. It's possible that the tape exists, but you can't necessarily take her word for it. That's all I'm saying. But I don't think you need to see the tape to come to the conclusion that Trump is a racist. But that's just me. The Trump campaign offered her money to be quiet. That doesn't shock me either. But again, we don't know it, but it doesn't shock me. Newman alleges that Trump campaign, or let's say Omarosa alleges that the Trump campaign offered her a job paying $15,000 a month in return for her shutting the fuck up after leaving the White House. She claims they didn't really care if I showed up for the job and just wanted her to sign a confidentiality agreement. During her term of service and all the time thereafter, you thereby promise you agree to not demean or disparage publicly in any form through any medium, the campaign, Mr. Trump, Mr. Pence, any of Trump's or Pence's company, any Trump or Pence family member, any Trump or Pence family member company. Read the contract according to a copy of the same by MSNBC. You don't say anything bad about me, Pence, my dog, my wife, my son, nothing. None of the Trump properties. If you stay at a Trump property and there's a cockroach, you keep your mouth shut. You don't say squat about anything. Are you going to take the money and shut up? Are you going to take the money and shut up? That's what we want to know. I don't care if you work. Just take the money and shut up. $15,000 a month. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of money. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of money. Omarosa alleges Sunday that there are several former employees from the White House who actually signed this agreement who are being paid $15,000 a month for their silence. God! He should have kept her on staff. God, he should have kept this woman on staff. Because she is crafting certain narratives that you can't fully confirm. By the same token, they sound true. Like, MSNBC apparently has obtained the contract. So the contract exists. That exists. And they're reading the contract, so you don't have to take her word for it. And the fact that the contract exists means that there are likely people who have already signed that contract. Means that there are people floating in the ether that have signed contracts to never say a bad word against Donald Trump, the president, Mike Pence, or his family. Or the company, apparently. Wow. Wow. They are essentially hush money contracts. That's amazing. That's amazing. Donald Trump should not have pissed this woman off. He should not have pissed her off. You have stepped over the line with this reality contestant. Trump is mentally declined. Oh, geez. Omarosa took a swing at the president's mental competence, writing in 2017 she saw evidence that his mental decline could not be denied. Oh, she's hitting him in the knees in one item after the next. His mental decline could not be denied. You have pissed off a reality show contestant. And with her superpower, that power being over-the-top theatrics, drama, the ability to sharply criticize and attack, shamelessness, hypocrisy, and I think I said theatrics before. This is fucking amazing. This is fucking amazing. Omarosa took a swing at the president's competence. She's saying he's incompetent. And not just incompetent, that his mental faculties are declining. That's hilarious. The reason this is funny It's because Donald Trump took issue with this himself. Like, this was the thing he bristled. I'm not mentally incompetent. My mental competence is the best thing on the planet. My mental competence can't be denied at all. And she's saying, yes, his mental competence is on decline. She's hitting him in areas that are sore spots. They continue to deceive this nation by how mentally declined he is, how difficult it is for him to process complex information, she said, referring to the White House staff during the Meet the Press appearance. Wow. She told NBC today that Trump sometimes battles with reality. That Trump battles with reality. He fights with reality itself. In the book, she blamed Trump's terrible health habits, especially drinking 8 cans of Diet Coke a day, making him physically ill, as well as impacting his mental abilities. Wow. John Kelly issued a threat when he fired her. All right, I need to move up because this is taking too long. Essentially, John Kelly threatened her. It's come to my attention over the last few months that there's been some pretty, in my opinion, significant integrity issues, Kelly says in his recording. I think it's important to understand that if we make this a friendly departure, we can all be, you can look at your time here in the White House as a year of service to the nation, and then you can go on without any type of difficulty in the future relative to your reputation. Essentially, we will put a knife in your reputation. Omarosa says Sunday she took the comment about her reputation as a threat. It was a threat, and called for the White House to release her personnel file to reveal what Kelly was referring to when citing integrity issues. I mean, you're recording personal communications in the White House. Let's be honest. I mean, you don't really have, come on. Do you really need to release a file on this whole integrity issues thing when you're recording members of the White House? You're in the White House taking recordings of conversations. It's kind of making the point itself. Well, whatever. She also alleged Kelly fired her without Trump's input. To back up her claim, Omarosa released a subsequent tape on Monday of a conversation between her and Trump the day after she had been fired, where he said, "Nobody even told me about your firing." Now, this has two effects. One, it makes Trump look completely and utterly incompetent. Completely. People are being fired in the White House without Trump's knowledge that the people have been fired. So that's the first part. The second part is, I don't think she would have this much hostility towards Trump if she honestly believed that Trump didn't know about her firing. Like, if this was a situation where she had been fired, Trump finds out after the fact, she fully believes that Trump didn't know anything about it, why all the hostility towards Trump? I mean, she's releasing a tape talking about he's using the N-word. She's saying that he's incompetent and his mental faculties are declining. Talking about he offered her hush money. This comes across as if she is pissed off at him and she has taken one opportunity after the next to put a knife in him. Now, it's possible she's pissed off at him because he was incompetent and didn't have anything to do with it, didn't help her out. That's also possible. But does she really and honestly believe that Trump didn't have anything to do with it? This is the problem. It's hard to know what's true and what's real in these situations. It's very possible that Trump knew exactly what was taking place, that Trump was co-signed the firing, and that after the fact, Trump said, "I have no idea that this was happening. I had no idea that they dragged you out of the White House. I had no idea that that took place." None. Do we honestly believe that the president that went out there saying he had the greatest crowds in the history of crowds, that people were celebrating 9/11 on the buildings or something to that effect, that he saw him do it? Do we honestly believe that this guy who lies flagrantly, lies as easily as he breathes air, wouldn't turn to her and say, "I had no idea you were fired," while at the same time knowing exactly that she had been fired? It's possible. It's also possible that he didn't know. I have a harder time believing that, but I'm not in the White House, so I have no idea. What's clear is she has a certain amount of hostility towards Trump in the White House, that she's been putting knives in Trump and the White House, and that for the most part she's been recording some of the conversations that she's had, meaning she has the goods, and she is hawking a book. That's what's clear. This is funny, not completely shocking, and I would imagine that this book is reality show gold. That's what I think. So, let's see. She's sure, quote unquote, acting just like all types of despicable liars and con artists do. It looks like she might have went into the White House purely for this idea of, I'm going to write a book. It's very possible that that was her entire point in going to the White House. By the same token, it's also very possible that what she's saying is true. Like, is it one of those things, would it shock you to any measure if what is being said is true? Oh, there's another one. She talked to Mueller. She's willing to talk to Mueller again. The reason is she's saying about hush money. So one such tape includes a recording where Trump and Cohen allegedly discuss hush money payments over the story of the Playboy model she's claimed to have an affair. Omarosa says she has a treasure trove of documentation for claims she's made in the book. Essentially, the stuff that she's saying in the book, she has documentation and audio recordings. She audio taped people in the White House. This is fascinating and amazing to me. That's amazing to me. I'm shocked this is even legal. Shocked this is even legal. Adore Pariah. This isn't what she wanted. This is her telling Trump, I wasn't the traitor. Look at all this stuff I kept secret. Right. I wasn't a traitor at all. Look at all this stuff I've been recording. That's why they were companions once. Yeah, they might have been companions at one time, but not now. Not now. Birds of a feather. I gotta be honest, I don't know the skills she was bringing to that position. And she gets there, she essentially records, documents. This is amazing. But it's like, hey, a reality show host invites a companion that's also a reality show contestant and made her bona fides by being a reality show contestant into the White House for a nondescript job. Are we shocked that the person that was invited in this way leaves in a huff, leaves with a treasure trove of information, and leaves essentially in this big theatrical presentation where you're pointing the finger at the president saying, look at all the stuff that the president did. I caught him and I got it in a book. Buy my book. But I went with the best of intentions. Yeah. Omarosa, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I'm going to end this here. I have a few more that I want to do. Is Omarosa related to the deep... No, she's not. No, she's not. Octason. It's funny. Indeed, you have to distract the peanut gallery if you hope to drain the swamp. I think you're talking about it backwards. For the love of money. Pool ball. Right there. That's the beginning and end of it. For the love of money. For the love of money. You have somebody who dwells in a sea of eyes. Meaning, the more eyes that are put on her, the more views that she gets, the more people who sign on and turn on to the television, the better. How can I say this? She earns based on the people that know her. I mean, she's a reality show contestant. And in this case, she was able to get a book about the President of the United States and her time with the President of the United States. Not just that, being an African-American woman with the President of the United States, who's largely considered a racist. Yeah, it's good writing. Maybe not good writing, but it's a good book. It's like a bombshell book. So I'm gonna end this here because I don't want to. I try to cut these short, and this video is going for 24 minutes. It's way too long. Capitalism is right. All right, guys. If you enjoy the content, please feel free to share, like, subscribe, and of course, you can always support the Patreon. Thanks, everyone.